All right, so we're going to go ahead and do the demo for views with Spring Boot. We're going to start a new project. Call it employee app. We're using the Spring initializer. And just going to make sure the Java versions match. Hit next. Now the only dependency we're going to need for this is Spring Web. Spring Web is used to build applications using Spring MVC, Model View and Controller. Go ahead and hit finish. So we're working on the views right now. In the previous video, we covered the controller. Now Spring Boot will actually let you set up your homepage, your landing page, without having to set up your controller. And we're going to go ahead and demo that part first. So go into your source, main, resources. And in the static, still loading up, we're going to hit a new HTML file called index.html. It's going to have a H1 and it's just going to say employee homepage. We're going to hit save and we're going to run this application. So like we said, with this index.html saved in your resources, Spring will recognize this as your home page and set this as your home landing page without any controllers that need to be set up. All right, so let's let it build. All right, so let's check out localhost 8080, and there we go, employee homepage without any controllers set up. Now, let's add another page. HTML5. This is going to be locations. Locations.html. Other H1. And this page we're going to use for the employees to be able to identify what location they work at. Control save. All right, so now we're actually going to need to set up a controller to point at this location. So Java, we're going to create a new package. It's going to be our controller package. I'm going to create a new class, Java class. This is going to be our main controller. Give this class the controller annotation. And now we're going to do a request mapping for the / location. So for this method, we're going to be returning a string because it uses the string to find the file name. So this is going to be a public string. We're going to call this employee location. No parameters. And we're going to return, like we said, a string, which is going to be location.html. We're going to save this. We're going to stop and rerun our application. So it's running. Let's go to our locations. And there we have it. Your location. Right, so this is great, right? But we want to be able to transfer data so that we can actually display the name of the location and even on our homepage display the name of the employee. So to do that, we're going to use JSPs. And we're going to go ahead and set this JSP up. It's going to take a couple steps. First step, we're going to have to go into our Palm XML, and we're going to have to add a dependency. I'm going to copy and paste this dependency. I could put a link to the dependency in the description. But this is going to be the Tomcat embedded Jasper. Right, and this is going to be what we use for our JSP. We're going to save that. Next, we're going to have to add a new directory. This is going to be web app, and within the web app, we're going to put another directory, which is going to be all caps web inf. And this web inf is actually used by the Tomcat when it's in a container. These are actually files that can't be seen by the end user and provide an extra layer of security. We can go over that in more detail later on. All right, so in this, we're going to put a new file, and this file is going to be our, we'll call it our home.jsp. I'm going to copy and paste the information, but it's pretty much the HTML tags, have a header with a title, H1, right, employee homepage, and in the body we have this. This is what's different, right? We have a $ with curly brackets, name, and another $ with curly brackets with location, right? And we'll go over more detail on how we're going to actually send the name information into this home.jsp file. All right, so we're actually going to make a couple more changes. In our applications.properties, we're going to change the location that it's looking for. So currently, it's looking in the resources static file, right? It's looking in the resources. So we want to say, for the Spring MVC views, you're going to look for them in this web inf folder that we created. And then another part of this too is we're going to say a suffix of JSP, right? .jsp. And that simply means right here where we have home.jsp, you're not going to have to type the .jsp part on your controller. So let's start with the main controller. We're going to do another request mapping for the home page. It's going to be another public string we're going to return simply the string home. All right, before we run the application, we're going to do two more things. We're going to reload our dependencies. And what we need to do is we need to remove the index.html. So like I said, Spring Boot will identify it as it's building the application and set it at the home page. Let's go ahead and delete that. And rerun the application. Perfect. Now you can see it says employees homepage, welcome, and a link to click here, right? And we'll go over all that right now. So currently it's not actually showing anybody's name, right? So we wanted to be able to display their name and display their location. Let's go ahead and set up our location page. File. Update our location. Now we're going to have to add logic in here to be able to get the information to those views. So we're going to add the model. And now we're going to add a model dot add attribute. So we're adding this model that's going to get passed over to the JSP page. Make that a capital. All right, so let's go ahead and save this and rerun the application from here. And as you'll see in our location JSP, our home JSP, we're actually making a link to the location/location, which is supposed to be the location name from the model. So let's go ahead. So we're going to add the model and now we're going to add a model dot add attribute. So we're adding this model that's going to get passed over to the JSP page. Make that a capital. All right, so let's go ahead and save this and rerun the application from here. And as you'll see in our location JSP, our home JSP, we're actually making a link to the location / All right, so perfect. Now you can see here, it displays the name. And when you look at the link on the bottom left corner, you can see where it says location / Raleigh. Now, when we click this link, we actually don't have the controller set up to handle the location / Raleigh, but let's go ahead and make that change to the controller. Locations, right? So we're going to have the name. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Copy and paste this over here. Just for the demonstration purposes, you have to make sure to add the model within your parameters. And rerun the application. There you go. Employee location page. Welcome, James. Your location's Raleigh. Go back to the home page. So this is how you would use views in Spring Boot, and a quick demo on how you can use JSP to get data and models into the end user page, end user view. All right, so give me a like and follow. I'm going to do the next video on how to set up models.